If you have a cell phone that was made in the last 3 years and it's a major phone like an iPhone, Samsung Galaxy, or Google Pixel, then chances are your phone is eSIM capable. Why does this matter? eSIMs are now the easiest and most efficient way for you to get internet on your phone while you're traveling in Japan and many places around the world. But there is no shortage of eSIM companies out there. In fact, ever since we made this video, we've been bombarded by companies asking us to review their products. There are just way too many to do that. So instead, we've reviewed a few, and these 3 are our favorites. I'm going to tell you why and discuss some of their pros and cons. Before we dive into the best eSIM options for your trip to Japan, it's essential to grasp the fundamental concepts of eSIMs and what distinguishes them from the traditional physical SIM cards. But feel free to jump ahead. Understanding eSIMs. An eSIM, short for embedded SIM, represents a digital SIM card that is integrated directly into your device's hardware, whereas a physical SIM is a piece of plastic with some metal on it and requires you to physically insert it into your phone. How do I know if my phone is eSIM capable? Not all devices are eSIM compatible, so it's crucial to check and make sure your phone is eSIM capable before you set off on your travels. On the Ubigi website here, if you scroll down to the bottom, you can see they list a bunch of phones that are eSIM capable, and this list seems to be very current, so I'm going to go ahead and link to it in the description below. If your phone is not on this list, that doesn't mean it is not eSIM capable. You can still check with the manufacturer or your mobile phone carrier. Main benefits of using eSIMs. Flexibility. With an eSIM, you can easily switch between different carriers without having to swap out SIM cards. Having this flexibility is going to make it easier for you to choose the best network, best price, and the coverage that you need. Convenience. I used to carry around a bunch of SIM cards using a piece of gaff tape and tape them to the back of my phone cover. That way, whenever I needed my SIM card, I could just pop off the cover, remove the tape, and take out the SIM card and replace it. That was a huge hassle, but by sticking it on the back of my phone cover, at least I wouldn't lose them. So the convenience of having these eSIMs embedded right in your phone is a game changer. Since eSIMs are actually embedded into your device, you're not going to have to worry about carrying physical eSIMs anymore. Well, I actually keep one still, and that is my Google Fi SIM, and that one is always inserted into the SIM card slot. But if I wanted to, I could also replace that with an eSIM. And as you can see here, I have several eSIMs actually installed on my phone, and I can easily switch between these just by turning one on and turning the other one off. And if you're wondering about Google Fi, we use that as our local number for the United States. But what's great is by having a local number, we can use that whenever we need to do something like a 2-factor authentication where they need to call their phone or send us a text. We always have that, and that still works. And when you are using a SIM card, since you can have a physical SIM as well as an eSIM at the same time, you can have these operating at the same time and not have to worry about it. Really nice. Instant activation. Activating an eSIM is usually a straightforward process that could usually be done directly from your device. You can activate an eSIM by scanning a QR code that will be sent to you by your mobile carrier, or by entering an activation code, or even through a mobile app that is provided by eSIM carriers. This eliminates the need to visit a physical store or having to wait for a SIM card to be mailed to you. Cost savings. While eSIM plans can vary with prices and depending on locations and countries, in general, you can save money because there's a lot of different plans out there and a lot of different operators. So the cost savings can be pretty good compared to regular SIM cards. Also, some of these eSIMs are really cheap that you could test out a bunch of them until you find one that you like, and then you can pay a little bit more and get a larger plan that you need. And in many cases, you can choose a global plan and use that in many destinations. Tethering. Most eSIM companies now also offer tethering, which is great. This will allow you to share the connection with different devices. It's really great if you're a family, but do take into consideration that once you start tethering, especially if you're tethering from your phone with an eSIM, it's going to drain your battery much faster. And if you're going to be using it all day, you better have a power bank. I have one that I highly recommend. I will link to it in the description below. Are there any downsides? There is one. Especially if you're traveling to Japan, all of the eSIMs that I know of are data only. That means you cannot get a Japanese phone number and you cannot send SMS messages as well. So if you need a Japanese number, or if you need to be able to send text messages through an actual number, then your best bet is to get a physical SIM card. There is one company that I highly recommend. They are called Mobal. We used them for a couple of months and the service was fantastic. If your phone is eSIM only, then I'm sorry, your best bet is to use voice over IP apps such as WhatsApp, Skype, or Google Voice. What are the best eSIMs for Japan in 2024? This is not a scientific study. This is just based on our own personal experience using these different mobile carriers throughout Japan over a few months' time. The criteria are they must have no contracts, the coverage must be excellent throughout Japan, they must have the ability to tether multiple devices, the pricing must be competitive, and they must be easy to use. First up is Mobal.com. Mobal is a longtime player in the SIM market in Japan, but another cool feature of Mobal is that they donate a large portion of their profits to charity. On their website, it says, Mobal guarantees that the majority of profits go to charities. So with your mobile SIM, you don't just travel the world, you make it a better place. What about the coverage? The coverage is 99% of Japan. They use the NTT Docomo network, which is considered to be the largest network throughout Japan. We personally did not have any issues connecting to the internet using the mobile eSIM. Every time I checked, it was connected to a 4G network. Price. Mobile offers plans of 8 days, 16 days, and 31 days. A 1 gig plan for 8 days is 1,920 yen. A 1 gig plan for 16 days is 2,260 yen. There are no 1 gig plans for 31 days, so if you're going for a month, they expect you're going to need more data. Now, you can also see that Mobile offers a 50 gigabyte plan. This one is awesome and perfect for us because it's valid for 31 days, and you can't beat the price. In fact, of the 3 companies we will discuss, this is the best deal if you want the largest amount of data for a month's period of time. Activation. Of the 3 companies we are discussing today, only Mobal does not offer a mobile app. So once you purchase through Mobal, they will send you an activation link through email. Once you click on that link, it's going to show you your QR code, which you can scan in or you can manually copy the activation code and insert it into your phone. This process can be confusing for some people, especially if you've never done this before, and Mobal's documentation isn't the best. So if the idea of entering some of the information in manually scares you, then you might want to consider one of the other options we'll discuss later. In fact, I was a little confused by the instructions myself, so I emailed support and they responded very quickly and very clearly. Once I followed the instructions, it worked flawlessly, and we did not have any issues using the mobile eSIM. Any other downsides? Well, possibly. Because Mobile does not have an app, you cannot top up your data plan later. The good thing is they don't actually cut you off. Instead, you get slowed down to a measly 200 kilobits per second. But that's better than shutting you off. Whereas if you had a mobile app along with it, you could top up your data with that. Ubigi. Ubigi is a global player in the eSIM market, servicing over 200 destinations, including Japan. We've been using Ubigi for a while now, not only in Japan, but also in Thailand and Malaysia, and overall the service has been really good. We've also heard from multiple people while we were traveling that Ubigi service worked really well for them during their time in Japan. And Ubigi is now a part of the NTT group, which has a subsidiary called NTT Docomo. So my guess is that NTT is going to make sure that Ubigi works really well in Japan. We personally did not have any issues with connectivity using Ubigi throughout our time in Japan. The speed was always really fast, and whenever we checked, it had the 4G connection, though 5G is now available in some places. The price, they offer either 1-day or 30-day options. And you can also purchase either monthly or yearly plans. Their 500 megabyte plan for 1 day starts at $2.50. They have a 1 gigabyte plan for 30 days, which is only $4. Then there's 10 gigs for 30 days at $17 and 50 gigs for 30 days at $69, which is significantly more than Mobile's price of 50 gigs. They also offer global plans, which is really nice. For instance, they have an Asia plan where you can get 10 gigabytes for 30 days at $49. If you want to choose a global plan, make sure that it covers the areas where you will be traveling. So under this Asia plan, you can see that there's Japan, Korea, and many others. Activation. You have 2 options. You can either go the QR code route or you can install the app. If you're already familiar using the QR code method, then this is the easier and faster way to go. But if you want the ease of the app and be able to top up later, as well as keep track of your account, then the app can be a handy feature too. One cool thing about their app is you can install it now. So if you're still in your home country, you can go ahead and download and install the app and start playing around with it. So once you get to Japan, you'll be ready to install your eSIM very easily. By having a mobile app, it usually makes it easier for you to activate your SIM card. It also offers you the ability to top up your plan if you needed it. The potential downsides of an app is with all the scams out there right now, if you do decide to install the mobile app, make sure you download it directly from the Apple or Google Play Store. Airalo. The third option is an eSIM reseller, and they are also very popular. They're a newer company founded in 2019, and they've gained popularity really fast because their service just works really well, and their app is super friendly. In fact, it's probably the best that we've come across. And overall, our experience with them is very similar to Ubigi, which is really good. The coverage, we didn't have any issues with the coverage except one time, and this was probably because we were staying in a dead zone because some of our other devices using different carriers also had issues. In general, we always had a 4G connection. Sometimes it would switch to 3G, but we really didn't notice a difference in speeds. Airalo uses two different networks, that is SoftBank and KDDI. SoftBank is another huge provider in Japan, and they cover most of it. We've never had any issues with them. And sometimes we've also connected to KDDI, also with no issues. Price. Airalo offers plans for 7, 15, and 30 days. 1 gig for 7 days is $4.50. 2 gigs for 15 days is $6.50. And 20 gigs for 30 days is $26. They also have a global plan which covers 130 countries. I'll put links to these in the description below. For the activation, you have a choice between a QR code or the app. I tried both of them just for the fun of it, and they both worked really well. I was able to easily top up my data when I needed it, and you will notice with all of these eSIM companies that their plans are based on days of validity. And the cheaper prices are usually for shorter time periods. So if you notice that the price is low, make sure you check the validity time because it's probably something short like a day. So, what's my favorite? Well, it depends. Not what you wanted to hear, right? If you don't need a ton of data and you want the easiest setup, then you can't go wrong with either Ubigi or Airalo. They are both very good. Ubigi and Airalo have apps that you can use to keep track of your data and top up if you need to. Now, one feature that Ubigi has over Airalo is that they also offer monthly plans. So if you're going to be in Japan for more than a month, you might want to look into those. Additionally, both Airalo and Ubigi have global plans, which can be really nice if you are going to be visiting multiple destinations during your trip. Mobal is Japan only. Just make sure the countries you're going to visit are covered. Otherwise, you can still purchase multiple eSIMs. There is one gripe that I have with Ubigi and Airalo, and that is a lack of plans. In Ubigi's case, they only offer 1 day and 30-day plans. It would be nice if they had a 7-day plan. With Airalo, it would be nice if they offered more plans for each validity period. For 7 days, they only offer a 1 GB plan. It would be nice if they offered a 5 or 10 GB plan. If we had to choose between the two, I'd give the edge to Ubigi because they're now owned by the NTT Group, and overall, the track record has been really good. And guess what? We have some coupons for both Airalo and Ubigi. We'll link to those in the description below. But let's not forget about Mobal. If you need a lot of data, then their 50 GB plan for 31 days at $34 cannot be beat. Because of their generous amount of data and the success we've had using them, I would choose them every time without hesitation if I needed that type of data. But if you even need more data, then we recommend you get a pocket Wi-Fi. This could be in addition to an eSIM. In fact, we always rent a pocket Wi-Fi in addition to eSIMs. Our personal favorite is Sakura Mobile. We just tested them out for 3 months and the service was really good. We'll link to them in the description below. If you didn't like any of my choices, that's okay. I will put a link in the description where you can check out a database full of a bunch of eSIM providers. I hope you now see that eSIMs offer both convenient and flexible connectivity for travelers in Japan. With eSIMs, you no longer need to worry about the physical SIM cards and they can be activated remotely. It's just really awesome that you can have multiple eSIMs on your phone at the same time and easily switch between them. Now is the time to embrace eSIM technology and enjoy the convenience it offers. Let me know if you have any further questions and let me know your experiences in the comments below. Now, if you want to see a comparison of pocket Wi-Fi's, SIMs, and eSIMs, you might want to check out this video next and subscribe for more travel tips. Our family is traveling long term. We have a lot more videos coming about traveling in Japan and throughout Southeast Asia. Thanks for watching.